And welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman. We're here to speak to you about your life, your money, and your investment. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and CWE financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, Aaron, at lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me out on the web at www.aaronkatzman.com. That's www.aaronkatzman.com. Be sure to follow me both on LinkedIn and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we are YouTubers. Woo! So I want to speak to you about something that a question that I get that's very common. In fact, I got it about an hour or so ago. And that's somebody came into some money. In this case, they sold an apartment and they're moving and they've got money sitting around from the sale of the apartment, and they're looking to buy another apartment or home, right, in the next, let's say, 12 to 16, 18 months. And the question that I'm asked all the time is what to do with the money, right? You've got money lying around. Nobody likes to have money lying around. We want something to do. We want our money working for us, right? So what do you do when you have this money, which is earmarked for another property, primary residence, I should even add, right? Not an investment property, a primary residence real estate purchase. What do you do? Okay, so I like looking at different Facebook groups and whatever, and I love to see sort of what the crowd says. And there are people who say, well, you know, first of all, they're offering free advice, and oftentimes the advice is worth, you know, the amount that you're paying for it. You know, there are those who say, hey, why don't you do index funds, ETFs? That's good. That's conservative, right? Just put all of your money into the S&P 500. That's one answer. Other people say, well, obviously there are those out there who say you should dabble in cryptocurrency. That's brilliant. And there are those who say, why don't you do some like peer-to-peer or B2B lending, one of these lending platforms, and you can make, you know, 4, 5, 6%, and that's great. So let's go through them, okay? Why don't you, let's say it like this, right? You know what my advice is? It's not what people want to hear, but my advice is put your money in the bank. Don't do anything, right? If you can get some interest on it, great. Obviously, we live in a zero interest rate environment, so pretty much I'm not going to make anything on it. Why do I say that? I think the biggest reason is because making 5% on your money, right, over the next year or 18 months, right? The risk involved in making that money, and if you make that money, is a lot less important to you than if you lose, I don't know, 20% of the value of your portfolio, right? Because you're counting on every last penny that you have in order to make a down payment for your new residence, right? So in my opinion, you can't take the risk, right? Stock market, those say, oh, this buying S&P 500 index, and well, the S&P 500 can go down, right? It goes down all the time. We know that on an annual basis, on average, it goes down at least 10% once a year. It wasn't long ago, the market lost 35% of its value when Corona hit. That would sort of stink, right? If you're like, got an apartment lined up and you're about to pull the trigger and buy it, and it's like, oops, I have a third of the money I thought I had. That's pretty, as we say in the vernacular, that's a bummer, right? So for what purpose? So you can make a couple extra bucks? It just doesn't make any sense to me, this advice. Obviously, you know, so that's the whole put your money in ETFs and index funds, because those are conservative investments. They're not conservative investments. S&P 500, once again, is 500 stocks, okay? It's a basket of stocks. That's all it is. We all know that stocks are like the roller coaster, right? They go up and they go down. Certainly over time, they go up. And for somebody who's got a long-term horizon, there's probably no better investment than the stock market. But if somebody's got a very short-term horizon, in 18 months, I know we're living in the remote control generation where, like, you know, ching, 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 we don't like something. And if you leave a channel on the TV for more than 4 minutes, you're like a long-term TV watcher. But in real life, it doesn't work that way, right? 12 months, 18 months, that's not a long time. And if things drop, you're not going to have enough time to make up the money. Those who are investing in, who suggest, oh, put it in crypto. Yeah, put it in crypto. First of all, good luck, okay? And you think it's bad in the stock market? What if crypto, your crypto of choice, drops like 70%? Then what? Great advice there, buddy. The next thing, right? The peer-to-peer lending, that's actually not such a terrible idea, but okay, because you're getting some interest, you're not taking huge amounts of risk. You know, your downside risk is probably limited, but, and this is a big but, and the but comes in terms of liquidity. When it comes time to pull the trigger, where you really need, you sign the contract, you got to start making payments. It's not so clear, especially here in Israel, that some of these peer-to-peer lending platform companies are able to deliver you the money, you know, so quickly. I've heard of cases where people have requested to liquidate their loan portfolios because they want to take the money out, and the money's not all available. Now, it's not that they're running a Ponzi scheme. Everything I think is okay. It's kosher in terms of that, but there's liquidity is a little bit waning, and if things are bad in the loan market, then it's not clear at all that you're going to get your money out so quick, right? So that's the other issue, is liquidity. If you're about to move on a residence and you got to, you know, you're signing a contract, you have to know you got the money there in hand to make your payments. And if it's stuck in some vehicle and you can't get it out, or part of it or all of it out, then you're also up the creek. So once again, it all comes down to the fact, if you have a short-term horizon, and I'm saying anything under 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years, in my opinion, is a short-term horizon. But if you've got that money lying around and it's specifically for residence purchase, okay, you've made it, you know, you put a big check mark on it, right? That's what it's for, okay? Don't do anything with it, okay? That's my advice. Leave it in the bank. Don't do any of these other things, because you can lose you can lose a lot of money. B, you can be taken to the cleaners. And 3, you cannot have the liquidity that you need and is required if you want to go ahead and turn around and buy the property. What if you're satisfied and you buy something after 3 or 4 months, right? And then you want to buy it, right? You don't want to wait 18 months and then something falls in your lap, a great deal in the neighborhood you want. You want to be able to buy it right there. So again, my advice: if you've got money waiting for an apartment purchase, leave it in the bank if it's anything under 2.5 years. You've been tuning into the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to email me at Aaron, AARON, at lighthouse with an L, lighthousecapital.co.il. That's Aaron at lighthousecapital.co.il. You can check me out on the web at www.aaronkatzman.com. That's www.aaronkatzman.com. Be sure to follow me both on Twitter and LinkedIn. And of course, tell your friends. Tell people in your family, your kids, right? We need subscribers. Please, please, I beg you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much for tuning in, where you get all kinds of even unpopular advice, right? I know people are going to contact me now. Oh, Katzman, you're a nut. Invest the money for the apartment. If you want unpopular but good, solid advice, you come to the right place. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.